Hey everyone, Marcus here. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with ChatGPT by now. And if you've been using it extensively, you'll have noticed that ChatGPT has a sort of handicap where if you give it a big task, like for example, write me a book on how to make sushi, it will start writing that, but it will come to a point where it will stop. And then you'll have to tell it to continue or ask it to modify or, fix something or correct something and so on, which basically makes it sort of a manual tool. Now, a few weeks ago, something called AutoGPT came out, which is a tool that uses ChatGPT through an API key together with Pinecone to divide up these big tasks you're giving it into smaller tasks, store these tasks in a memory, and then execute them one at a time, which makes it a lot easier for the AI to do what you want it to do. So for example, if you do ask it, write me a book on sushi, it will divide that question up into smaller questions like do research on how to make sushi and then make a list of all these findings and then turn that list into chapters in a book and then write an introduction and so on, which is super awesome. But AutoGPT requires installation and then some knowledge in Python and so on to set it up, which can be hard for some people, which is why AgentGPT now exists. And AgentGPT is essentially a front end, which is like a user interface for AutoGPT, and it is much easier to set up. So let's take a look at how you can set it up and use it. So to get to AgentGPT, just go to agentgpt.reworked.ai. So there's no E at the end of rework, there's just rework and then D. I'll put the link in the description of the video. And then here you can see it looks kind of similar to ChatGPT, where on the left you'll be able to see all the previous questions that you've asked it if you logged in. You can enter the text here, whatever it is that you want to ask it. Click on deploy agent after you've also inserted the name of the agent, and then you will see the results in this window. Now before we start, we need to actually go to the settings here, and here you can see that we need to give it a key, basically an API key from OpenAI. Now to do this, just go to your OpenAI account, make sure that you're logged in, go to view API keys, and then you'll get to this page, and then here you can create a new secret key. Let's call it AutoGPT online, something like this. Create secret key, copy the key, done. Go back here, settings, paste in the key. You can leave it on 3.5 turbo for now, and then click save. And then here the agent can be called Marcus, and then this can be write me a book on how to build a house. So a very big and wide question, write me a book. So let's see what it does now. And then we click on deploy agent. So you'll see that it's thinking. You can see the goal, write me a book on how to build a house. And then you can see that it breaks this task down into smaller tasks. So research the different types of buildings, materials, and stuff like that. Organize the book into clear sections, include 2 details, and then so on. And it will start like doing one of these tasks at a time. When it finishes it, it will save it in its memory. So this would be like a chapter maybe. And then it will create new tasks. So you can see here, task marked as completed. And this task would be the research, different types of building materials, which is the task on the top. And then it will go to the next task, and then the next task, and then it will, keep working on these tasks until it has written the whole book. So you can see here, it did this one, and then this is the results here. And of course, when you're done with this, you can tell it to stop, or you can just keep it running. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell it to stop for now, just to show you that, once it's done, you can also export all of this here. So if you click on export here, and then you can take copy, and then if we can take a Word file here, click paste, you can see everything from the chat came in here, which is great. Now, keep in mind that even though AgentGPT is a free tool and you can make an OpenAI account. To use the API here, you need to put money into OpenAI's account, right? You need at least $5 to trigger basically this process where you can have API keys and then connect to ChatGPT via API. And the bigger the task here that you give it, the more complicated it is, then the more of like these resources, for example, the $5, it will use. So if we go to usage here, we can see that, this small task that I gave it, it used, well, it had used a little bit before, but maybe it used like $0.01. And it wasn't even close to finishing this book. It had just like started, right? So if I had, given it whatever time it needed until it was done with writing the whole book, I don't know, it would have probably consumed all the $10 that I put in the platform. So keep that in mind when you're using this. So ChatGPT, the normal ChatGPT, is of course free unless you subscribe and then need to use the 4.0 ChatGPT. But yeah, if you're going to use an API key, then it's going to cost you some money. But I think this is super useful. I think that if you're interested in this stuff and you can afford to put in $5, you should definitely do it and then see what it can do. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, by the way. If you like this video, make sure to click the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of these AI videos. I just started my channel and I will be putting out more of these videos to explain, all these different GPTs, AgentGPT, more videos on that one. And then the AutoGPT video is next. Basically how to install it, how to set it up with Pinecone and everything. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.